Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Scottsburg Board of Public Works and Safety. Today is December the 11th, 2024. Some 14 days left from Santa. So welcome to Scottsburg Board of Works. We'll call a meeting to order. We begin by a roll call by our clerk treasurer Jan Hurley.
Mayor Amick.
Here.
Karen Gershis.
Here.
Tom Lewis.
Here. Thank you, Ms. Harding. We now go to the approval of minutes from November 27, 2024. Is there a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second the motion.
So moved. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Unanimous. Thank you very much. Next we go to new business. And that's brought to you by Foundation Insurance Proposal. And we have Lynn and Joe with us today. And I want to give the floor to you guys.
Awesome, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
We with Foundation Risk Partners, Joe and I are here to present the 25-26 property and casualty renewal insurance for the city of Scottsburg. We have worked diligently with Jan and Rita to gather information and get this renewal going. So we'll go through this at a high level and go through every line of coverage, and then we'll notate any changes that have been made that have been significant since last year's renewal. And then at the end, we'll go through the premiums, for the total. So starting out, again, Foundation Risk Partners, City of Scottsburg Insurance. Service team remains the same. I'm the insurance advisor on the account. Joe Belanca and I work on the same team. He helps with all the day-to-day information. And we are backed up by Amy Dunn and Lisa Ali that help with certificates of insurance and any other back-end information that we need help with. So your team will remain the same at the upcoming renewal. So as we move forward here, we have the property insurance. Everything has remained the same in terms of the property and assets that we continue to cover from an insurance standpoint. A notation I do want to point out is at the deductibles towards the bottom of that page. Due to Scottsburg being in a high to medium wind hail zone per se, they have decided to increase the wind hail deductibles per premises from $10,000 to $50,000 per premises, which is something we are seeing across the board with all the peers. At the Science Center complex, they're putting a 1% wind hail on that because that is the largest structure slash asset that is being insured. So it's a 1% wind hail on that. For all other causes of loss, such as fire, any other causes of loss outside of wind hail, that is remaining at a $10,000 deductible. So moving along, we will go to the inland marine, which is on the next right page. These are all the tools, equipment that you all have scheduled that the city owns. Those continue to be managed at the proper limits. We add and subtract equipment, throughout the year and keep that updated and maintained. That all remains the same. Deductibles are the same. So moving on from there, the general liability, again, that's all based on budget numbers, and that fluctuates, year to year, as you know. So that's what is driven from an exposure standpoint, and that's how premium is dictated. The limits of insurance on that are still the same at the $3 million. You have a $1 million per occurrence, $3 million aggregate for the entire policy term. Nothing has changed on that front coverage-wise. The crime remains the same at $100,000 limit for the upcoming year. Nothing has changed on that front. So keep coming along here. Police professional liability is still $1 million, $3 million. Still the same insurance coverage on that as well. We feel like that is sufficient coverage for that line of business as well. Public officials liabilities on that next page. You still have a $1 million, $3 million per occurrence slash aggregate on that. The coverage remains the same. The crisis management and public relations expense coverage, that's still slated at $300,000 for loss if you needed that coverage. That also remains the same as last year. Cyber liability on the following page will remain at $1 million in limit of liability. That has not changed either. Commercial auto, you still have a $1 million limit, and just like the inland marine, the tools and equipment that the city owns, we continue to maintain that vehicle list. Police officer vehicles, fire trucks, garbage trucks, everything is added and subtracted as the city purchases and sells vehicles. Joe does a really good job of keeping that updated. Same limits. There is one change on the deductibles. For private passengers, smaller vehicles, it's going to stay at a $1,000 deductible. For larger, garbage trucks, emergency vehicles, it's going from $2,500 deductible to $5,000, which is another thing we're seeing across the industry as a standard. The next page is the excess liability, which is your umbrella. The umbrella is going to sit over top of your auto liability, your general liability, your police professional liability, your public officials liability, your abuse and molestation, giving you an extra $5 million of coverage in the event your underlying limits are exceeded. So that is the same as last year as well. Workers' compensation, this is all driven by payroll. Your payrolls are actually up a little bit this year, which is normal, what we always see. Good news is IPEP, the carrier on that, is actually lowering their base rates, and we're actually seeing about a flat renewal in terms of premium on that right page. You can see it's pretty much flat. Although your payroll has gone up, premium is staying consistent, so that's fantastic, and that's due to lowering rates, which is hardly seen in this market. So keep that in mind as we flip through these pages. The next two pages are just disclaimers and recommendations. We've already gone through recommendations with Mayor and Jan and Rita on what we recommend, and we continue to keep up with city trends, what your peers are doing from a coverage standpoint, and things of that nature. So we'll move along past that page. Next page is the marketing summary. So what we do is, obviously we do our due diligence. We shop the insurance to every market that will even consider municipalities. Those are not very, there's not many of them. And a lot of those decline due to exposures that the city of Scottsburg has, such as garbage collection, electrical utilities, and police and fire. So we did our due diligence. We continue to stay with Munich Re on the package policy. They continue to be the most competitive, and honestly at this point our only option. So with that being said, we are to the premium summary page. You'll see the line, property line of coverage shows the expiring versus proposed. You'll see that the majority, almost all of it, is coming from the package with Munich Re, which encompasses the lines of coverage all the way down to the cyber. So those are all included in that top number there. And then if you look towards the bottom two numbers, it's going from a total premium for all lines of coverage on the property and casualty side of things from $368,272 to $443,214. That is a pretty substantial increase, but again, we're looking at your peers, and that is actually lower than the majority of the peers we've seen. Some of the peers in the municipality space are actually not even getting offers on renewals for insurance. So it's about a 20% increase. A lot of that is due to some adverse loss history that the city is dealing with, and some ongoing litigation. That has to be factored into the rating, and that is a majority and a big reason why this premium increases. And also, one other thing to note is the property market continues to struggle due to the ripple effect of natural disasters such as tornadoes, wildfires. All these insurance carriers are feeling the pain of the payouts for those claims, and it's a ripple effect and affecting all of us, even individually. So, with that being said, I think that's all I have. I wanted to open up to any questions you all may have regarding the insurance for this upcoming renewal.
I typically sit down with insurance every year, and we go through everything thoroughly. And so we've been up talking and going through all of this, and so to make sure that, so I want you to know I've been through this, so as well. So what questions do you guys have?
I don't have any questions, John.
Yeah.
You got any questions?
Dan, you think?
No, and I assume if that litigation, that if that does get dropped, that doesn't change our rate for next year?
Not this year, but if it gets dropped,
Could.
maybe next year.
Next
year, you will
Okay.
get quite a bit of relief, in fact.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's.
I'm sure you touched on
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay, Mayor, thank you. I was just sorry to add.
Great question. Yeah.
We asked that up front as
We
well.
asked that, multiple times, so. We
Okay.
addressed that.
We
and,
got confirmation.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll keep a
Okay.
tight eye on that for the next year.
That sounds good. I won't take any more of your time.
And we've seen no issues at all with the company There's been some changes, but the changes have all been smooth and it's been great. So
Thank you.
very much.
Appreciate that.
So with that said, we'll take a motion to approve our new insurance proposal for 2025. This is going to take us up until basically midnight, December 31st, so this will begin January 1st of 25.
I'll make a motion to
Tom Woods makes a motion to approve the foundation insurance proposal. Karen Richards seconds that. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank
Guys,
you.
thank you so much for coming down and being with us today. And this is always a partnership. That's what we look at. So thank you. You've been great partners to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate working with you all.
Our citizens appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you very much.
you. And hope you guys have a great Christmas.
Hey, you too. Thank you
Thank
all.
you. For sure, for sure. Next thing on our agenda this evening is
Sounds good.
Yeah, okay,
approval
be
of
careful.
Absolutely.
2024-R-2, a resolution of the City of Scottsburg Board of Public Works and Safety authorizing the transfer of real estate to the Department of Water Works of the City of Scottsburg. Jill? Hey, Jill,
Yes,
on 2, what?
yes. On B,
Yeah, B.
This, okay, what this is, okay. This was discussed in the last water board meeting, and as to the ownership of that,
Of the
it's
house.
called the Westmoreland House there by the water department. And it was determined that over the course of time, since that has been purchased, it was purchased with water funds. And they have paid from the get-go to have everything done on that house. They paid the taxes, they've received the rent. So this is just to transfer that ownership to, so it's more
I
specific.
guess who owns it? City does. So the water would like to have it for their own, other own name.
Yes, and that's what the attorney suggested at the last water board meeting, that it be deeded over to them and that be specific on the deed.
That makes sense.
Well, yeah, Todd was pretty, he was really watching that money. He was like, no, wait a minute, they paid for it. It was like
Yeah.
$65,000 and they paid to have all the done the first time and this last time it's been.
It's all been put back together, and the city legal counsel didn't want us to get running that through as to what local competitive rates are. So we've done that, so I had to get an assessment and all of that, so it's ready to go right now. So the last thing to do is basically transferring this, it's just a transfer from the city of Scottsburg to the city of Scottsburg Water Works. So that's all. So just a legal thing, so.
It's the intention to just continue on.
You want to say again?
The intention is just to continue on.
Oh,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Right in front of a water plant. Yeah, we're not gonna sell it. So, no, yeah, so,
No, it's not.
but it is a very nice home. It is probably one of the most picturesque locations in the entire city because it overlooks that lake. And you can see those eagles coming down and grabbing the fish. It's amazing, it's amazing. So, you know, 3 bedrooms, single bath, come on out. So, we have a motion to go forward and approve Resolution 2024-R-2, authorizing the transfer from the City of Scottsburg to Department of Water Works of the City of Scottsburg. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Karen makes a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Tom seconds that. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much, unanimous. Next, we go to the approval of the scale purchase brought to you by Jill.
I'm gonna have several, so I'll go one at a time, but I will start off by reminding everyone that anything over $150,000, we have to use a company that is with government entity bidding, and they're already set up with it, or we have to actually bid out in the newspaper and everything. So anything over $150,000 that I tell you today, they are companies that participate with Sourcewell, which is the government entity that we use for bidding. Anything under 150, 250, I am required to try and get 3 quotes. Anything 50 or under, I can do what I want, okay? So we'll start with the scale, which this is gonna be put down to the street department, and once we get through these, if you wanna go back and ask the mayor some questions on the items, feel free to. But the scales, the quote that came in, is from Innovative Scales at $63,175. We did reach out to several companies. This is a limited source to get these. So they were the only responsive quoter, not bidder, but quoter that we had.
What are the scales measuring?
Uh,
Weight of what?
Wait a.
Garbage.
Garbage.
Oh, garbage.
Yeah, for the street department, for the
So
land.
we've been charging by cubic yard. It looks like some, we pay the way we should charge them.
What was that quote again, Tim?
63,175. So I am asking for a motion to approve that quote for the scales at 63,175.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, any questions, any other questions with this? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, okay, thank you.
Can I just go one, Mayor?
Yeah, just go on.
The next one that I have is the concrete quote. Obviously, the scales have to set on concrete ramp with pillars, has to be leveled, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we did have 2 quoters. One was Vance and Baker Concrete at $40,000. The other was Innovative Scale at $29,500. So I'm requesting a motion to accept the lower quote for Innovative Scales at $29,500 for the concrete work.
I'll make that motion.
Tom Wilson makes a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Karen seconds, any questions about this?
Yeah, where is this
Good-
actually?
good
physically
question.
be located?
It's going to be on 4th Street, so basically, turn about 4th Street, right behind the gymnasium. You go down there, and we have a recycle center right there to go and it's gonna be just past that opening, because we have a 10-foot concrete ingress going onto a scale. The scale will have a bumper on it, and it's basically right up against the outside. And then we have a 3-foot, so we can get in there and clean everything and do any type of adjustments to the weight scales. And it's 47 feet long, and there's another 10-foot. So that you're gonna drive up, weigh, leave, turn over, back up, dump, come back, reweigh, pay us and go.
It says right on the street.
It's not right, it runs parallel with the street. It runs parallel with the street, yes, that's where it's at.
Okay.
And we've got a fencing and such, so that at night, we're gonna lock it all off, so, yeah.
Is that included in this price, or fencing gonna be different?
The fencing is gonna be minimal, we already have fencing up, we're just gonna move the gate over,
Okay.
that kind of stuff, so it's gonna be, it's already there, so. We have a motion and a second, and is there any other questions on this? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much, unanimous, thank you. Next thing is the approval of quote from Wingham for trails.
We had discussed in budget hearings that we use some money this year to do the trails for the parks, to resurface them and do some minimal repairs. I had 4 companies that gave quotes. All Star Paving was at $144,570, $450. Mac Construction was at $97,593, $25. Dave O'Meara was at $157,850, and Wingham came in at $51,476.22. So I am requesting a motion for the low quoter of Wingham at $51,476.22, and this work will begin the spring of 2025.
Do we have a motion?
Pretty big difference.
Very big.
Huge, huge.
We feel comfortable that this is accurate.
Yes, we went out with them twice
Okay.
to make sure, once we got, and you're gonna see in the next one, there was a big difference too that I was surprised at and made sure. So,
As long as we're
again, they're just
satisfied.
getting hungry for the work,
Okay.
so.
Do we know them when they
Oh, yes.
They did good
Yeah,
quality.
yeah, they got one if not two of your community crossing for $1 million at paving. Yeah, so we work.
They also, yeah, they're a good company, reputable company.
Giving us a deal, I'll make a motion to accept their due.
Tom makes a motion to go forward and accept the quote from William
I'll
for
second.
trail repair of $51,000. Kevin Bush seconds that. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. We actually went out there. Jill and Emily and I got on it. We drove the whole trails and we marked areas. So there's multiple areas that have been eroded, bumped up because of trees, all kinds of issues. So thank you. Next thing we have is approval of quote for paving. Would you like to, Jill?
This is the Canco Credit Union Drive is what it's actually called, and it's the little strip between Centra, Canco, whatever you all call it, the bank here in
And-
Scottsburg.
And New Hope Services.
And this is to mill 1.5 inches and replace the asphalt at 1.5 inches. So I had 3 quotes on that. Libs came in at $21,250. Dave O'Meara came in at $23,850, and Temple came in at $11,800. So I would request a motion to accept Temple's quote, and again, this work would not start until spring of 2025, but I'll request that we accept Temple's quote at $11,800.
I'll make that motion.
Tom Lewis makes a motion to
Second.
the paving between Credit Union and Jill's, and seconds that. Questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you, unanimous, thank you.
And Jill, both of those are gonna be encumbered out of paving, was what, didn't we talk about that
Yes,
one?
please.
Yeah.
Next is the Sourcewell approval garbage truck and cans.
This will be one, and then the mayor can tell you about. He did go look at 2 different types of trucks. These are over the $150,000 threshold, so that's why I wanted to tell you about Sourcewell. Both companies did, they were listed with Sourcewell, but this one came in at Central Indiana Truck Equipment Corporation at $401,500. And that is the one that the mayor looked at, wrote in.
We looked at 2 different types. One, basically both the same price. This one is a Mack truck with a Mack engine, and it has, you're setting over the tires, so you have a better turning radius. The other truck was like a dump truck. It picks it up and touches it, but when it comes up there, you have to lift up the bed and it all come out. Well, for a guy who's been from Minnesota for 10 years, it gets cold like this, that stuff sticks. And I wanted something to push it out. So they were both right at the same amount of money. I think there's $3,000 between it. And so this one had a different grabbing system. More than anything, it's not a dumper. It pushes it out. That's what I wanted to see.
So this is going towards.
Automated
getting
sanitation.
away with the bags.
All the bags will go away. The bags are only to be a stepping stone anyway to get to this space. We went from actually the bags to a label. And the label was just, the bags would break 22 pounds, it was under break 22 pounds, so people complained about that. So we got a sticker to put on there and raised it $1, but we didn't do $2, raised it $2 per quarter. So, but this does away with all that. So now instead of having 3 guys, we'll have 1 man in a climate control truck. So, and what you didn't see, these guys, there is the highest, if I could show you on the workman comp, they are the highest, almost double, almost triple the police in workman comp that we're going to pay these guys. So this will do away with it. There's going to be a truck driver. I mean, that's all it is. So, and it will do away with all those injuries and hurts that these guys get. They're really young guys. So, but anyways, truck malfunctions, the truck will be taken in. So that's a good question, because the existing truck we have now, we're gonna put tippers on it. So they can go out there and just put the can on the, and dump it in. So, they can do, I was in Lexington, Kentucky, and 3-4 hours, and I rode it for an hour and a half with one guy. I mean, I tried to count it's between 6 and 8 seconds. He pulls up, he hits a button, he just reaches out, grabs it, dumps it, sits right there, and he goes down to the next one. Just, I mean, it's not a gear shift, it's just a push button type deal. I mean, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So, very, very positive thing for Scottsboro. Plus, it will eliminate the look of our curb appeal. So now you're going to see everybody having buckets sitting out there. It's a 96-gallon bucket. It has City of Scottsburg on it. Probably going to put another little saying on it. And it will keep all of our trash inside that barrel. We're going to require everybody to put their trash in a bag. You cannot put raw trash in this barrel. It's to be put in a bag, and the bags will be put in there. So things can just lift it up. And so that's a new thing coming for the City of Scottsburg, a needed thing for a long time. And so.
It's one truck's gonna service the whole city.
One truck can service. I mean, the guy I was working with, he's been there doing it 40 years. He said he does 1,300 houses a day. Now, starting out, he says you're probably going to be able to do 600, 700, 800 houses a day, but he said you'll get up to 900,000. He said, so if we have 1,700 or 1,800 homes, 2 days. So, so very positive, very positive. So, we have a motion to go forward with the approval of the garbage truck and cans.
I would make that motion.
Tom,
Just,
let's make
can
some-
I, just the garbage truck at this time.
Okay.
I'll second.
That's just the garbage truck.
That's just the garbage truck. We'll do cans next.
Okay. So, didn't see the cans down. Okay, so basically, we have a motion from Tom Lewis, seconded by Karen Gricius on the truck. This is a Heil truck as well. So, any other questions about this? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, thank you very much. Now go ahead, Jim.
The cans, the mayor contacted 2 different companies, and this is the lower company by $5 or $6 a can maybe.
That was 11, but I may be wrong.
But there would be 2,379 cans delivered. They do a program, educational program for the citizens in Scottsburg, and 1,700 of those cans, they would assist in setting out and teaching the community the placement of it, the safety of it, the ease of it. So there's a whole educational thing that comes along with this. But that price is $136,672, $136,672.
The education only goes with it, but also the construction of it. They basically got to put the 2 wheels on the bottom. There's a serial number on it. They're going to identify the serial number with each house. This can will not be your can. It will be your house's can. It will stay at your house. Should you move, the can stays with it. And, so basically we're going to give everybody a can, a second can. You're going to have to buy it. So you want 2 cans, you have to buy them. But that's never here. Sorry about that. So, cans was tested in Minnesota. They got the temperature down to below 0. They put 100 pounds in it and dropped it from 15 feet. Did not break or anything like that. So they're very, very good can. So, any questions about the cans? 96 gallon. If not roll.
So that's like 57.45 per can. But you're saying that comes with training.
It's cheap as that.
It's 52 for the can, then it's $5 for the assembly, then it's 27 cents to take out and do the training. It's kind of, and then there's a freight charge.
Yeah.
How much does it hold? 1 gallon?
It's
Well,
95. 95.
Yeah, 95.
Is there a rate limit on?
Well, I don't want to say that, and we have somebody working on trucks, and they put a block in there. I'm not going to have blocks on it, but normal trash, just normal trash.
Regardless how much it's packed in.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the trash truck, I mean, I came across one that was over 100 pounds. And this is not designed, I mean, now, that truck can do it, but I'll tell you, when you get 120 or 50 pounds for me lifting that thing up, I mean, yeah, I muscle it up, but I don't wanna do that all day,
Yeah.
you know,
So the really intention is you would not be one.
Well, sometimes we're gonna need probably 2 or 3. We have some people now, I mean, that, you know, that throwing families,
It's a lot of trash.
a lot of trash. And I can show you several houses that need several right now. So,
So is this gonna be a, extra cost for the customer or lower cost?
yeah, you'll do away with buying the Sasco stickers. The Sasco stickers will be a thing of the past, and this will be on your utility bill.
You don't figure the price of that?
No,
That's
this will be an
council.
ordinance established by the council.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Did we have any? I'll make the motion.
John Lewis makes motions, or a second?
Second.
Frank Ruscia seconds. Any other questions about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, thank you very much. Next thing is the quote on the roll-off truck. Joe?
Roll-off containers, or roll-off
It's number 8.
There's
We went
2.
behind.
There are 2 separate ones, but yes, there is one for a truck and containers.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had roll-off containers down there in the bottom, sorry.
That's okay.
No, that's a different thing, that's roll-off, two different things, sorry.
Okay, are we doing the truck? Okay. The roll-off truck, came in from municipal equipment, which again participates with Sourcewell at $201, or $201,875.
What's this truck do?
This truck takes all of the trash that everybody brings into, compacts that into a 40-yard container. This truck then picks up that 40-yard container, and then because we're going with one man now driving the truck, I now free up a man to drive it over to Salem and to dump it in the landfill there and then bring it back. So we
So
will,
this is called a roll-off truck.
This is called a
Okay,
roll-off
so,
truck. And we're doing 2 days and there's 2.5 days. It's only 3 days. And that's a brand new truck. We had a quote of what, 238 and change on one that had been used for a year. Low miles, but it was 30,000 more for a brand new one every month. And, so,
so one truck, one garbage truck, one roll-off truck.
right.
I'll make the motion for the roll-off truck.
Tom Lewis makes the motion for roll-off truck. Is there a second?
Second.
Ken Ruscia seconds. Any other questions about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you very much. Next is the approval of the quote for the roll-off containers.
No, we've already done that.
No,
Oh.
that was the truck.
Oh,
So that
now
this
it's
is
the
containers,
boxes.
they smash it into.
oh, those are the boxes.
Yeah, this is the boxes.
Okay,
Sorry.
this is the
Trust me.
cans, was the 136.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay.
This also came in from municipal equipment. There are different sizes. A 40-yard container is $10,900. So the amount that we would need of those,
I think is one. We have 2 now. And I think that first have 1 more, I think would be adequate.
So we've already got 2, one about one,
Yeah, one
end up 3.
with 3.
our quote we got was for one 20-yard, one 30-yard, and one 40-yard, equaling $23,650. So it could be that we need 2 smaller and not, but we have to get the size justification.
What-
Obviously, that's why we were late. This came in late.
What we did early on was we made a construction container. Because they were putting all the shingles, the concrete blocks, the 4x4s, the 6x4s, the 6x6s in a container that's not made for this. It's made for household trash. So we now put a container, open container out, so if you're redoing your house, you got all this wood and nails and shingles that goes in that container. So I'm gonna probably need 2 of those.
Okay, so, well, tell me the quote again.
They're 10.9 each for this first size we were talking about. The quote that we got was for a 20-yard, a 30-yard, and a 40-yard, with the quote totally being $23,650. So it could be less, or we might choose to not do the 20 and 30 and get 2 40s. No matter what, we're not gonna go over the quoted size per the size of container.
Right.
So if I could get a motion to
Not to
approve
exceed that
the amount of the
23,650.
quoted container.
Okay, so we're approving each container price,
Yes.
and then you'll decide how
We
many
could need
containers.
3 small ones and not a big one, or we could need 2 big ones, but,
I'll make that motion.
yeah.
Tom Wilson makes a motion on
I'll
containers. Karen Richards seconds that. Any questions about that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, thank you very much. Now the tippers.
Now, the tippers, go back to your first question, Tom, if the truck breaks down, then these tippers get put on the old trucks so that they can go out and still have access to use these new cans. Okay, and we got 3 quotes for those. City court being 25,000, best being 20,000, and municipal equipment being at 15,000. And that is for 2 tippers, is that
2
correct,
tippers,
Mayor? So I would request the motion be for the lowest quote, which was municipal equipment at 15,000 for 2 tippers.
I'll make that motion.
Tom Wilson makes a motion. Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Karen Richards seconds it.
We have 2 trucks now, but
There's 3.
there's 3, we only have the tippers on 2.
I've got tippers on one.
One.
I'm putting 2 tippers at
2
this
tippers.
point on each side because we're probably gonna start, we're just getting cans in. We'll start with our truck. It's the newest truck. I think it's 2017. I get it still. It's a 7-year-old vehicle and should, you know, so you can roll those things over and then dump them in there and then put them back. And so at least the guys aren't hauling them. So if those trucks break down, we can still have the ability to pick it up. Not as fast, not on schedules, but we can still pick it up. And, you know, so,
Have you discussed with the truck people if it does break down, how quickly they repair it?
well, I mean, it's under warranty. I mean, typically, these things, they're telling me that we really won't have troubles for 5 years. And I've talked to the mayors about it, and that seems to be the truth of it. And also, it's gonna take something on the tippers as well. I was gonna say this, the next truck, we have one that's 7 years old, one that's a good 15 years old, one that's 30 years old. So, you know, and they're at a place right now, we lost them right here before Thanksgiving. We were doing double route. After Thanksgiving, we were doing double route. And ironically, all 3 broke down. And the 30-year working on 3, with 3 streets to go. They're all back up and going. We've got a great mechanic, so he's got them all up and going. But again, they're all older equipment.
Yeah.
But it'll be fine for filling. So.
Okay.
So we have a motion by Tom, seconded by Karen on the tippers. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much. Next is approval of quotes on park maintenance, Jill.
We have 2 bathroom doors that need to be replaced at Beechwood Park. And we also have quotes to remove and replace the bridge and sidewalk on one side. That's the little brown covered bridge type that you go through. We received 2 quotes. Jerry Asher got these. One is from Doc Gent at $16.35, and the other is from Coomer Construction at $14.8. So I would like a motion to approve the low quote at $14.8 to Coomer Construction.
I'll make the motion.
Tom Wilson makes a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Karen Richards seconds, questions here.
I would like to add in the Jan, that would need to be, that'll be spring work probably, would need to be encumbered.
we're also putting, Chief, we're also putting timers on these doors. So those doors are gonna unlock at a certain time and they're gonna lock at a certain time. You don't have to go lock them up anymore. Or Mark's not gonna lock them up at 3:30 in the afternoon either. So I mean, we're gonna have opportunities for that going on. So, with that said, we have a motion to accept the park maintenance quotes.
I'll make the motion.
Karen Wishes makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll say.
Tom seconds. What question do you have now? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much. Next is James.
I'm gonna let them continue with the floor because they have the
James
numbers.
has a fire
Oh, we have,
I literally just got the interstate, so.
We didn't
I'm
think
here for
James
questions.
was gonna be, were you gonna do this or
me
gonna?
No,
me
you
put
don't.
you last?
Hmm?
You want last?
No, go ahead. They've
No,
got
he's
everything
just-
we need.
We were
James got it.
planning on covering for him anyway.
James got
but
it.
he-
Yeah, they were covering for me. I just happened to make it.
What do you do? He works with the Heroes Group, and they had a funeral today at Napoleon, so he's just
There was a
got back.
firefighter that was killed
Firefighter
in
that
duty.
passed. So, anyway, council chose to give some ARP money for a new fire truck. And James has done extensive research on this, and it's going to be about 3 years before this truck can be delivered. But we are wanting to lock in the price because they do go up considerably in a 3-year period, and James has all that information. So the payment plan option is going to be, the contract price is $892,887. Now, it's looking like it'll be 27 before it's delivered, but we will pay down our ARP portion, which is somewhere around 225,000 will come off of the top of his payment plan, because council chose to use those funds. We have to have this contract signed by the end of this year for the ARP funding, so that's why you're getting this push now. You know, that this is very important that we have this done.
So it's just gonna replace another truck or?
Yeah, the truck it's replacing is actually a 1996, so it's 30 years old. It's pretty much,
Yeah.
it's beyond what they would call at the end of its life. At 20 years is kind of when the ideal time for replacing a fire truck. So this one's gonna be 30 this coming year.
Yeah. So what do we do with the old one? Did it go somewhere?
Well, normally we would trade it in, but once again, they won't give us anything really for it because nobody wants to, they can't resell a 30-year-old fire truck.
They charge us extra to take it.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, we could put it up for sale ourselves and possibly get something out of it from another department somewhere, or whatever. But yeah, it's,
To be determined then.
yep,
Okay,
for sure.
sounds good.
Good question.
James, you want to tell them the increase over when we bought the last one, like what we paid for that and what it is now?
On average, it's pretty much a continuous cycle. It always has been. That trucks go up about 4.5% a year. So whatever that number is, the previous year, it's about 4.5% every year. And that's kind of how I do my projection going out on the life of our trucks / the payments we're getting in and if we can afford them. But during COVID, everything just went through the roof. And the previous truck we purchased, if we purchased it today, when we got it in 2020-ish, when we ordered it, it was $490,000. That truck today is $850,000. So
It does.
it went up quick.
So the time we get this one, it may be worth $1.5 million.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the
That
good
right?
part about it is once this is approved, even though it's a 3-year delivery, and even in prior, it's a 1-year delivery because they have to build your truck once you order it. But with everything being pushed back, now it's a 3-year out, but you get the pricing now, and that's locked in, obviously, for when you receive the truck in 2027, so.
So the 200 and some thousand from that, what you call it, AOP,
ARP, the American Rescue Plan money.
and the rest of it's paid by now, just regular.
It'll be out of his, like, we put so much out of Coon Cap Development every year, so much is allocated. and probably we're gonna have to budget a little more for that, as according to our projections. We presented two different options, council looks at that.
Okay.
So, we're thinking our payments are gonna be about 85,000, aren't we,
I
James?
think
or
that's
something?
what the number was.
Yeah, for 7 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so,
also the one we previously financed will be, I don't know if she just mentioned this, it'll be paid off,
in
this coming
26,
year.
or this
Or maybe 26, maybe 26. So we kind of scheduled it where, once that was paid off, they'll kind of just continue on.
And we had always paid for our trucks prior to
Yeah,
James doing the
until this
research,
last
and I think this last one was the first one we had bought on a lease plan. So, it's all positive.
I'll make a motion to approve the quote with the fire truck.
Tom Lewis makes a motion to go forward.
I'll second.
Fire truck, Karen Bush seconds. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Now, we have Ms. Emily.
I'm doing this for Jerry. We have, let me restart. If you've seen around town, we have been improving our Christmas lights. A big thank you to Willie and the electric department for hanging our new snowflakes. So with that being said, we have some excess that we would like to get rid of from years and years ago. We have 26 snowflakes, photos, 10 shooting stars, 15 hanging baskets, 17 deer, and 7 angels. And I just need approval to declare those excess, so that way we can post them on GovDeals.
Those stars are beautiful now on
Okay,
31.
great.
Yes, they are gorgeous.
They're really
Don't let your house. Hang it on your roof.
I'll help you hang them. I'll come here.
Well, there's kids that do that, those all boys did that.
When does the auction start? Tomorrow?
No, when Amanda can get them listed, she'll use these pictures and get them listed on GovDeals.
Sounds like we might have two prospective.
Yeah.
I was kidding.
So do we have a motion by our board to declare these multiple items, which, as you can see, takes up a lot of room,
Oh, the motion.
to go forward and put them on auction. So Karen Richard makes the motion. Tom Lewis seconds that. Any other questions here? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Next is their 2025 cell phone stipends.
That one is me as
Sponsored
well.
by Ms. Keller.
In your packet, there were 2 lists of employees who received cell phone stipends. One list was for those who received $50 monthly cell phone stipends, and one was for those who received $100 monthly cell phone stipends. Just need approval for those to continue in 2025 for monthly cell phone stipends.
How many is that total?
A bunch.
A bunch?
Yeah,
I don't.
and all those amounts are budgeted in the person's department.
Is this amount evaluated every so often and changed from 50 to 60 to?
No,
It just
Pretty
starts.
much, yeah, unless they find that a person gets a promotion and they need more access to data.
Yeah.
Those $50 ones are just mainly the ones that we need to contact during the day.
Okay.
And the police department is on there.
I'll make a motion, we approve the cell phone
I'll second.
stipends.
Tom Lewis makes a motion to go forward with the 2025 cell phone stipends, seconded by Karen Bush. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We kind of did with radio stuff,
Yeah.
so. Next is, again, our Emily Keller on HR update.
Willie has sat through this whole meeting for the HR update, so I can let him talk a little bit. But we are going to ask for approval to promote Kevin Jensen to second level apprenticeship. This is 65% of a journeyman for the electric department, and this will be effective on 12/22. And Willie can speak a little bit about this.
All right, so Kevin Jensen is our newest apprentice which is 8,000 hours. The way we got it set up is they make every 1,000 hours they get a raise, which is roughly every 6 months. So every 6 months I'll be in here bothering you on the progression of the employee. So that goes by the homework that he's done, tests that he's taken through the apprenticeship, which is IMEA, which our apprenticeship program that we go through is also recognized federally through the Department of Labor. So plus us, as of this year, I'm vice president of that apprenticeship too. So it's a very good apprenticeship that we do. We've done this for apprenticeship for years and years. But Kevin's done an extremely good job on everything that he's done so far. He's really doing good on what he's learned. And he's still got a long road ahead of him to keep doing. All the homework is done on their time at home. So, and then of course he's got the learning in the field, and then plus he'll do 2 classes a year that he has to go to also to take tests on everything and finalized out. So, but like she was saying, he's right now I think he was at 1140, so he's over his R's. So I'd like to get him promoted up to his next step.
Okay, okay. I make a motion, we approve that.
I'll second.
Tom Lewis makes a motion for the advancement of Kevin Jensen to our next step, and seconded by Karen Burchett. Any questions, comments? Wanted to make a comment. Really, you guys do such a good job, and Chief, this includes you too. On your workman's comp, it's only $1.13 per 100 on electric. And I mean, for police, you're $1.96. But for those guys in the back of the garbage can, it's $4.51 and 5.20 per 100. So you guys doing a great job, and those rates are a whole lot higher than that. So thank you. So we have a motion by Tom, seconded by Karen. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Thank you very much. Next is our claim approval by our one and only Jan Hardy.
As always, I'd be willing to accept a motion to approve the claims as presented.
I'll make that motion to approve the claims as presented.
I will second.
Motion by Karen, seconded by Tom Lewis. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. What announcements do we have? I have one very important announcement. I believe it is the 19th and 20th that Santa is coming to Scottsburg. And this is going to be, it was lined up today. I got a call from him. So he's going to be, we'll put this on our Facebook page and let you know.
Okay.
It's going to be over here at the courtyard,
Yeah.
so he's going to be showing up there. So what a deal. I'm a fruit off coming with things. So what else do we have for announcements? I know, I'm great. Well, you got anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Do you need to change your next meeting by change, go to holidays, or?
We already
We
did
already
that
did.
last
You already
We
did.
have
When is that
to the
be?
30th.
30th to 30th.
Okay, hearing none, we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to
We're adjourned, thank you very much.